All right. So I'm here. I'm interviewing my dad on speakerphone. Woo.
Hello, man.
Hello. So let's give this a shot. All right. Question one. How important has sports been to you in your life?
Well, it's not as important as family and friends, but it has helped me find my friends and define my time with my friends. It's on a scale from, I would say, 1 to 10. I would probably rank it fairly high, probably about an 8, all in all. Although my friends have much more knowledge about sports than I do, I feel that, between playing football with them and just roller skating and doing other activities with them and watching sports, they quite an impact with my friendships. Not so much with my family, except for my son,
Woo!
who's into hockey now.
Yeah, I'm awesome like that.
So,
Yeah, that's been something that's been key for me too. Is especially lately, even if you don't like the game, like I detest basketball for whatever reason, but I'll go over a buddy's house and I'll have a game on in the background, just something to talk about, something to keep it relevant. So let's do this. Who most influenced you in becoming interested in sports?
my best friend Steve Thomas,
Best friend Steve Thomas. Is there?
his father were very, very sports minded, baseball, basketball, hockey, everything, football in particular.
Did So did you like go over their house to like watch games and stuff, or?
Yep, they always had games on. They always had bets between them. They always pick different teams and have some, side bets going on. And they had, they still to this day, they went to every single ball stadium in the United States, and actually, they went to the one in Toronto, and so they, then every major league in America's
Ballpark.
ballpark.
That's definitely something that people always talk about it, like, oh, I want to go to all the ballparks or I want to go to all the stadiums or whatever. But that's really cool that he got to do that.
Yep. We're talking about possibly doing all the football stadiums or something like that.
That'd be kind of cool. Those games could be expensive real quick though. But
Well,
I mean,
it helps that you're a doctor and a millionaire. It helps.
yeah, I mean, I guess when you put it that way, I suppose.
I'm not a thousandaire like me.
I have all sorts of dozen of money.
I have a whole 50s of dollars in my bank.
I've got a whole bunch of singles in my pocket, and that's about it. I have singles of
Stripper
dollars.
job's working good for you then, eh?
What?
Stripper job's working good for you then, eh?
I'm turning this into my class. Oh, no one's supposed to know about that. I love my life. So, did you have a particular athlete who you greatly admired when you were young, and why?
How young?
We'll do. Let's do this. Let's do. Younger than 15, and then younger than 25, if there's a difference. If
Well,
if there's like a range, you could, or like a.
I didn't really start watching hockey till Steve Eisenman became part of the team. So, I mean, that's how I got involved with hockey. But prior to that, Al Kaline for the Tigers and Mickey Lolich. I had a Mickey Lolich baseball bat that we went to bat day for the Detroit Tigers, and they actually gave me a real wooden, like, go out and hit a baseball bat with a brand of Mickey Rolich on it.
Holy crap.
Awesome, you know, you know.
Yeah. They would never give those out now. Could you imagine?
Well, people would be beating each other. I mean, it was a real full-size bat. Well, at that time, to me, it seemed like it was full-size. I could have been smaller. I was young. I want to say 8 to 10.
Oh, wow.
So, I had that bat for a long time. My mom might still have it at her house.
You know, that wouldn't surprise me at all. That'd be kind of cool to see, too.
Yeah.
She probably does. That'd be kind of cool. It might even be worth something. Probably not.
They have hat day and bat day, and that was if I ever went to the ball games, it was always on a special day where you got like a baseball cap and
Oh, that's so cool.
Or,
Nowadays, you can get a magnet.
Well, it was at the old Tiger Stadium.
Oh, yeah. Those were the days that I don't remember. What was your greatest memory of playing or watching sports? So, like, all time, like, looking back, so playing or watching, you can do both if you prefer to pick and choose.
Playing? Well, I played football with my friends for 25 years.
Yeah. Was there like one play or one like...
One day when we played football in snow up to our knees, that was fun. As far as the time when the field was frozen just enough to when you break through and the water underneath was not, and people were hydroplaning across it. We played games in the pouring down rain where I broke my wedding finger the month after I got married. I remember playing and having my friends compliment me, and there was a guy named Chris Carter who was a receiver, and somebody said, "You look just like Chris Carter." I was like, "Oh, that was like the nicest compliment I ever had in my life." And so playing football with my friends for as many years as I did, there's nothing going to a game could come close.
Yeah.
But going to hockey games with you now and doing stuff with you, talking to you about sport is cool. I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, that's it's something that I'm really getting to enjoy. We've been really blessed, looking back the last 5 or 10, well not, yeah, 10 years.
22 years.
Oh yeah, 22 years. But the last decade or so that I've been kind of into it, and into sports and kind of getting used to like knowing what the hell I was talking about. Ever since we've gotten to do a lot of really cool stuff and talk about a lot of fun stuff. 3 or 4 Stanley Cup champions, and so it's been a good run. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. Not to mention that
it makes me wonder what we would talk about if that wasn't around, because Jake and I will play pool, or we'll go do some things, and he'll help me build or do whatever. But what would you and I have if we didn't have sports? What would be our connection?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm not saying there wouldn't be one.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying, what would it be?
Yeah.
It's like my
yeah.
what I'd like to.
Yeah. It's definitely. I mean, I don't know if that comes with like any resentment. It doesn't sound like it, but no, it's definitely, if not the most, one of the most prominent parts of our relationship is getting to sit down and just talk about, you and I both know I can sit down and talk about any of the 30 hockey teams, or and you'll have an opinion on it, or you'll put your 2 cents in, and we could do the same thing with football, and sometimes basketball. Neither of us really were ever really big on basketball, and
one of the bad boys. I watched it more because Mr. Thomas and Pete, we going over their house and watching the basketball games. We never watched sports at my house growing up at all. If any sports were on, it's because I put them on. That was it. That was the only reason and the only time that ever happened. So
I think I would die nowadays. I can't.
Well, I still come home just even for lunch if I'm working on a Sunday and just turn on just to get a few minutes of away time to watch a football game or a hockey game or something.
Yeah.
Hockey playoff usually.
Love the playoffs.
Usually a football game.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for football. I'm ready for football to start. All right, let's hop on down here. I don't want to keep you too long. So on the other side of what we were just talking about, what's your greatest disappointment ever in either watching or playing sports?
I never got to play high school ball. I wanted to. My parents wouldn't let me. And so my friends that I played football with every single weekend, I could go and play friends with my friends, and I could compete with them, knowing that they played football always made me feel like I could have competed, but I was really thin, and my parents were worried, I was going to get broken or something, and, but and I didn't have the greatest grades, so I don't blame them, but it just was to this day, I still wish that I would have been able to try. I love football, and I went to my buddies' games and got to watch them play, but I didn't get to go out on the field with them. So that's part of it that, they never held it against me. They never gave me a hard time about it. They never said anything negative about it, but it's just something that I never had in common with them. So.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. Let me ask you this. If you were gonna, try out for a high school team or whatever, did you have like a set position you were gonna try for, or?
Well, and when we played our teams, I played wide receiver, and I also played like corner, because we played both offense and defense.
Offense. Yep. If you were gonna pick one, which one would you say you were better at?
Probably offense.
Okay.
More than defense.
Offense is a little more fun anyway.
I don't know. Couldn't keep the same moves that everybody else had. There were, like I said, there were some pretty talented people that I played football with. So.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I could beat you.
Well.
No, the difference would be I would get broken in half.
Yeah. Well, but I haven't given up on playing ultimate frisbee yet, so
Oh yeah.
Just watch yourself, kids. All I can say.
Full contact.
Huh?
Full contact ultimate frisbee, just get nailed.
Yeah. I don't think you'd want to play that with me.
Oh yeah, that would not go over well. Oh. Yeah, I would die.
Yeah. He would bounce off of me.
I would bounce off you. Oh, it's like the new Superman movie where he tries to push Superman. Superman doesn't budge.
Again, I'm almost 50 years old, and I still would like to run again. I still would like to go out onto a field and run again, which I haven't done in 5 years.
Wow.
At least 5 years. So I'm not giving that up just yet. So
No, I mean that's definitely something worth working for. I'll race you. How about that?
yeah. Well, we'll see about that.
Looking forward to it. All right, let's.
I'm not just racing you. I'm gonna race Jacob too.
Yeah, I gotta beat his punk ass too. That kid's gonna smoke me.
I might just wait for my 50th birthday. Yeah, all right.
And take us both on, school us.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to getting beat by Jake. So, what sport do you care about the most, and do you know why?
What? Again, is this as a child, or is this as
Well, we could do both. I mean, in my eyes, it's pretty clear that now it would be hockey, unless you throw up.
No, hockey is currently my favorite sport. I miss it when it's gone. I do miss football quite a bit too, but I've also been working the last 8 years on Sundays, so I don't get to watch as much football as I used to, and it doesn't have the same, because it's only playing on a Saturday or Sunday, or sometimes Thursday.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the same effect right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So what about when you were younger? Was there like a one that you wanted to watch more than anything? Would you say football or?
It used to be football.
All right.
When I was younger, it was football. I was into baseball when I was really, really young, and I never really enjoyed watching it. I wanted to play more than anything, and that was the way it is with pretty much all the sports. Watching was not I wanted to play them.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to,
Yeah.
and hockey I never got into at all because I could not use skates. And so I didn't have a lot of affinity toward hockey until, again, the hockey team started to get better. My friends started to watch more, and I started watching it and said, geez, what tremendous skill somebody has to have to be on, skates and defend somebody or fend somebody off,
Yeah.
and still be able to stick handle the puck and put it into this small little opening that's being defended.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's much more skill. It's much more elite, in my opinion, than any other game. Because you can go out and hit, you can go out and run, you can go out and catch, but lots of people can do that. But not a lot of people can play hockey, I think.
Yeah. I would argue that there are certain elements of other sports that are as difficult as elements of hockey, like say hitting a baseball or running an exact a no-hitter, yeah. But there's never a moment in 4 major sports where you're on ice, guys are coming at you, and you've got to like you were saying, stick handle and outthink and outplay, let alone what goalies do. I don't know if I was telling you, goalies have they sports science on TV. They did a thing where they put a sumo in, and they that old
right.
They finally put a sumo in. They put him in goalie pads, and they found goalie pads. I don't know how they did it, and they were like, all right, stop it, and stop the puck, and they had a Anaheim, the enforcer from Anaheim with his mustache. I think his name is Peros, and who hadn't scored a goal all year. And they were like, all right, stop any of his shots. And this enforcer who hadn't scored a goal all year got 10 for 10 behind this sumo. And the sumo was just sitting there like, those goalies are so...
Well, and the thing is aside from soccer, there's no other sport and there's no other position situation where you literally have to, like, get in the way. You know, most of the time you have to catch, you know, if you're a catcher, you have to catch, but, you know, if a ball's hit at you, you get out of the way. If it's 100 miles an hour streaking at your head, you don't try to put your head in front of it to stop it. You know, it goes with their special mentality, you know, that they have to, you know, they have to be the one that sacrifices whatever it takes. And back in the early days, without any mask,
I still don't know how they did that. I put a lot of thought into, you know, those early, even the, you know, the 60s and 70s and 80s, just plastic little thing they put in front of your face, you know, like, I don't understand how that was safe.
Well, I think they have too much padding on right now, to be honest with you.
Oh, I do too. I mean, obviously, I think the head and the chest, or well, the head and neck area, I think is safe or fine or whatever. But that's a whole nother topic. I think you and I could go on forever. So let's not to rein you in, but let's jump down a little bit here. Second to last one. How do you think sports have changed from the time where you were young? So, over the last, you know, over your lifetime, how do you suppose sports have changed?
Oh, so many ways. You know, back in my day, everybody it used to be more of a privilege. You know, like, they felt like it was a privilege to play the game for people. It doesn't feel that way now. It's almost like, you know, yeah, I'm a badass. I should be able to, you know, get millions and millions of dollars, or, you know, it's okay if I have an off day. And, you know, I don't know. It just feels that the attitude has changed a lot. To the point, again, if you want to call them steroids, you know, who's the heroes, you know, who's the one, you know, when you're a kid, you look up the ones you want to be in, you know, the World Series and hit the home run and be, and not saying that they don't want to do that, but I'm saying is, it's more of, commercialized. Now it's not only, I don't really want to be the one to do that. I want to be the one that makes millions and millions of dollars and sell cologne and sell, you know, my own, you know, shaving cream and my own, you know, tennis shoes and my own. And everybody is across the board for the most part, because hockey's not as marketable. It keeps it, I think, a little more pure. You don't see that as much, or don't feel that as much. But everything else, because it is so marketable, everybody's selling cars, and, you know, it becomes more like, it's not just about me playing the game that I love and being with, you know, my teammates, but it's how much money can I make for me, and what can I do to, you know, to get out there and get more. You know. So,
I mean, even. Go ahead.
It can be a distraction, you know. I don't mind celebrations. I enjoy celebrations if you score a touchdown. I don't like it when you plan it out ahead of time and pull out a pen and sign an autograph or sign the football, or, you know, like, kind of, again, I don't know, the cockiness, I guess, that goes along with it. You know, that it costs you a penalty for your team. Because you're doing things like partying in the center of somebody else's field, or, you know, celebrate your goal. I'm happy with that, but don't do it at the cost of your team.
I think the pen thing, I like the idea, but I also, you know, the penalty behind it and the cocky attitude, I think that puts it over the edge for me. I like the idea of taking out a marker and then throwing the football into the stands, but I don't like I think you're right, the mentality of it is a little far for me.
Yeah. It's not about your team at that point.
Yeah, it's about
It doesn't matter that you had 10 people blocking for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you had the guy that's throwing the ball accurately downfield to make it easy for you to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you might have done some moves or whatever to get into but there were other people that were involved in that, not just you.
Yeah.
And there's something that's missing about that. Chris Spielman was always one of my favorite football players, and he basically said, if you ever have to carry me off the field, I'm done with football. That's it. That's all. I can only play to the point where I can't play anymore. And if I ever have to get carried off the field, I'm done. And he got, he used to play for the Lions. He played for Buffalo, and he got hurt, and they had to carry him off the field. And that was the last time he played football. And and he showed his support. His wife went through cancer. He shaved his head. He did all kinds of things that were, to kind of show his support for her. He made it very aware, and still to this day, has a foundation for her and stuff like that. And it just seems like, I don't know, it just feels like there may be a few players like that out there right now. It's just fewer and farther between right now. It seems like it's more of, what kind of commercial deal can I get?
Yeah. Yeah. And the ones that are doing it for the right reasons aren't the ones that get the stories now. It's the well, today
go
ahead.
So I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm doing a commercial for Buick, or I'm Drew Brees, and I'm doing the Nyquil commercial. You're already making millions and millions of dollars as football players, and take your enforcement and say, you know what, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to do this with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else? What do you need that for?
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Yeah, especially like the higher up guys who have established that they're making millions, like Peyton and Drew Brees. That's a good point. That's absolutely a good point.
I don't know. I just maybe I missed it more as a kid. I didn't see it as much, but TV wasn't what it is. I didn't have 300 channels back in the day. I had 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's yeah. I think you could even see a little bit of it in looking through some of the history of some teams. I wasn't around Gordie Howe, Ted Lindsay, stuff like that. But I've Gordie Howe played. He played till he was your age. He like NHL hockey. He played till he was your age. And he's still. His numbers are phenomenal. I've looked him up there. But he, stuff like that, you don't play because of the money, because he wasn't getting paid. He played because he loved the game, loved playing, loved entertaining, And towards the end, wanted to play with his kids, but
it's I forgot my point now.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. It's it used to be for the love of the game. Now it's for the love of the money.
Yeah.
I'll quit playing for college, and I'll quit. I'll skip over college, and I'll just play, and I'll whatever. It just seems like the greed of money, the love of money. There's probably some people, and quite frankly, oh my gosh, his name is slipping my mind. Last year, player for Detroit. He's our third baseman.
Cabrera.
Cabrera. I think Cabrera still likes to just play the game. There's something about him that there's just a love for the game, and I think that, but like I said, there's not a lot of them that still go out there because they love the game.
Yeah, you can see it. I would agree with you. I think it speaks volumes that he's doing as well as he's doing, and knock on wood, but he hasn't gotten implicated in any drugs or anything or any performance enhancing.
That's actually the point I was going to make earlier. Back in my day, they would cork a bat they would make that so it was lighter and easier to hit, swing or something, and they would, use pine con, they would do all these other crazy stupid things that, and they were kind of like the cheater. Nobody liked them.
Yeah.
But now it's like the steroids, they're cheaters too, and they get, hey, should we let them in the Hockey Hall of Fame or not?
Yeah.
Not hockey, but I mean the
baseball.
Baseball Hall of Fame, and so it's just one of those things that what you doing? The dog.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you. I think I don't like it. I know you don't like it. And I think we're very blessed to watch a sport that so far hasn't come out with any sort of major drug scandal or anything. I'm sure it's down the road, but I love the purity. It's one of the things I like about hockey is a lot of the guys really do love playing, especially the guys only making 1.5, 2. Drew Miller loves playing hockey. That guy loves playing the game. Doesn't make a whole lot of money. Does a really good job. He goes out there, plays his heart out for 7 minutes a night, and then comes back, sits on the bench.
Yep. Well, 7 minutes a night for how much?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a bad game.
It doesn't sound bad to me. Well, he is the one blocking, Zdeno Chara's 100.
I'm okay with that too. I understand that completely, but it's tough to afford games.
Yeah.
To see some people making millions and millions and millions and millions, and I know that if you're really good at your profession, you should be making good money, but there's a point where it just becomes like $20 million for one person, really.
Yeah.
The D-Rod made more money, or either last year or this year, than the whole Houston team. One guy. So, yeah. So, I mean, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you anymore. And I think, some of that in sports plays out badly, not badly, but I guess karma in a way. Yankees are a bad example. I've been to Yankee Stadium. They have more banners than they know what to do with. Those sell at home banners, or you raise them. At the bottom, it's got like the championship numbers. Their championship numbers overflows into where the team name is. It's ridiculous. But the where was I going?
For going over the salary cap, and they just pay it.
Oh yeah. I think one of the things that I like about hockey and in theory college sports is that everyone's on a level playing field. At least the parity in hockey is something that you and I both really like, and we've talked about just that anybody can beat anybody on any given night. It's made the playoffs great.
It was probably some of the best playoff hockey I've seen in years.
This series right now, we're in the middle of the finals. This playoff series is amazing. But I agree with you. This the refs have gotten a lot of heat the first couple rounds, but these last couple rounds has just been. Plus, watching Pittsburgh get swept was awesome.
That's always a moment.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. But buying a championship doesn't always work. Look at exactly Pittsburgh again. They compiled the best team they could buy, and they got swept in 4 games.
I mean, in Detroit, they've done the same thing before too, so it's kind of hard to not, somebody doing that when, we've done it too. But
oh no, I don't blame them at all. I'm just glad they lost.
Yeah, and they, I don't know. I just part of what I have trouble with Pittsburgh is just that, I think Sid Crosby is really good, talented, and multi-talented, but I think they just brought him up the ladder so fast, passer and everybody. It just seemed like maybe he's cute or something, and they just wanted to give hockey a face, and they just gave him too much.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, too much accolades, too little to show for it.
Yeah.
You know, and but
yeah. No,
you know, I don't think it's great that they, you know, run at his head and try to give him concussions or anything like that either.
Yeah, that's across the line.
I don't want him hurt.
Yeah. That's the thing too. You always want in hockey. You want the hits that, I guess, you want the hit that take the wind out of them. You know, that make them sit down and like make them think twice. But you don't. I still don't want to see anybody get.
They can guess where's this other guy on the ice. Or,
yeah. Yeah.
You know, so, but you know.
You still don't want to get.
That was somebody that used to just go out and beat the crap out of people. So.
Yeah. Who was it that?
Yeah, digressing. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So, last question for you, and I'll let you get going. So, do you think? Well, the question is, do sports matter? So, in your opinion, do sports matter? And in what ways?
I think sports has its place in the scheme of things. You know, does it matter as much as, you know, I don't know, it has to matter. I mean, first off, there's a lot of livelihoods besides just the players.
Yeah.
But the entertainment value, the break from your daily grind, the camaraderie you have with your friends, the camaraderie of your kids, your family.
Yeah.
You know, of course it has its value, it has its place. But if sports was wiped off the planet right now, you know, how much, you know, different would that make people's lives? Would their lives be less rich? Probably. But, you know, maybe there would be something else that people would do together. You know, and talk. And, you know, spend time, you know, I don't know, building puzzles. But, you know, just saying they would have time to do other things. So it matters, yes, because it touches a lot of people's lives. But I don't think it's, you know, people's health. You know, take care of the people that you love. Spending time with your friends. You know, those are the things that you know, family, of course, number one.
Yeah.
You know, those are the things that matter. Those are the things that matter, and everything else is kind of like, you know, extra.
Yeah. I had a buddy explain it to me, or sports to me once, is, you know, it's almost like a soap opera. You get to, well, not a soap opera, but a TV show you get to watch every couple nights. That, you know, something new unfolds, and then there's always, you know. So I think it's a little more than a TV show, but it's entertainment. It's entertainment that you get to go watch, and I think you're right. If you took it off the face of the planet, I don't think chaos would ensue or anything. And you're right, something would fill its place, but I think there would be a lot of bored people for a really long time before that.
Well, you know, to extrapolate on your idea of, you know, okay, so why am I a Detroit Red Wings fan and not a Pittsburgh fan? I mean, I don't live in Pittsburgh, you know. I don't, you know, for some reason I think that, and that's part of the reason why people like, you know, all the teams get their names and get their, you know, their, you know, they name them after cities and bring in the cities.
Yeah.
And, come on. And, so they, you know, I used to be a big fan of the Colts because I liked Peyton Manning. I liked the way that he conducted himself as a player. I liked the way that he conducted himself as a person. You know, I liked, you know, Joe Montana. You know, I liked, you know, some superstars because of, not only the way they played, but the way they could be, on a talk show and actually talk to people and have a, be a normal guy.
Yeah, carry themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't care for people like, I don't know, Tio and stuff. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hey, Spencer! Get out of there. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, yeah.
But, I don't, you're not bigger than the team.
Yeah.
And if you talk to these other great quarterbacks and you talk to these other players that I'm interested in, they always go back to their team. They always, they might give great performances, but they always give kudos to their team.
Yeah.
So, they, so.
I think that's part of the reason, looking at quarterbacks, Stafford does the same thing. Stafford goes back to the team and he's focused on, he's aware of the team as a whole. That and combined with the fact that he played hurt those couple games is, I think, the real reason that this city kind of accepted him, was ready. This is our guy. I think playing hurt means a lot to this city for whatever reason. Stevie did it. I think that probably drew a lot of ties, but
if the pieces of the puzzle pan out that they put in place this year, I could see it going into the playoffs for sure.
Sure hope so.
We'll see. And to be honest with you, I think this city, as much as they love the Red Wings, they've had this love affair for 20 years, and if you get a mistress, kind of flirting your way, hold on a second. Hey! Sorry.
No, you're fine.
They, like I said, a mistress, they've always loved football. They've filled the stadium when they're losing, when they're, they have a losing record.
Their perfect season.
But they, at this point, again, if they start winning, I think the love affair could be huge. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. The city's, the state's always been. We've always had Michigan football. Always had the good guys in Michigan State. And Lions fans are ridiculous. They stick around for forever, and I think for a Lions team to be good for once, I think you're right. I think it would feel it would be bigger than football. It would be bigger than a game.
They've been wanting a winning team for a long while. I mean, they've been after a team for a long while that would bring a championship back here.
Fingers crossed.
It would be huge. This town would be a big boost in the arm for this town.
Yeah, it really would. Well, I really want to thank you for doing this, and we'll talk in a couple seconds after I sign off on YouTube for the presentation. But I really want to thank you, Dad. It was a great interview. Really enjoyed it. And gonna sign off.
Offer. Was it supposed to be done with your dad, or was it supposed to be anybody you wanted to?
It was pretty much anybody you wanted to. Somebody. Thank you for that, and I'm gonna sign off YouTube here.